Ladies and gentlemen, the following contest is scheduled for one fall with a 10-minute time limit, and it is a first round match in the tournament to determine a new Pastgen Television Champion. Introducing first, he hails from Minneapolis, Minnesota, and weighs in tonight at 287 pounds, Brock Lesnar. Well, Brock Lesnar, former champion, and the reason that this tournament is a necessity. Brock Lesnar losing that Pastgen Television title to Goldberg. You wouldn't mind if Goldberg got injured in that match, but that's not how it happened. Before that match, Lesnar attacking Goldberg in the parking lot, slamming his leg into a car door and causing an injury which just forced Goldberg to vacate the title. There aren't many people in this tournament I wouldn't want to see walk away with that belt, but Brock Lesnar is probably the only one. His opponent from San Diego, California, he weighs in tonight at 200 pounds, Dirty Dominik Mysterio. Well, Dirty Dominik Mysterio, the son of Rey Mysterio, a man that he certainly fell out of favour with his actions of late. Before we get into this match, let's see. We've got the first round match here first. Brock Lesnar versus Dominik Mysterio. And then straight after this match, two legends set to square off. Roddy Piper against Ric Flair. The two winners of these matches will face off in the second quarterfinal match, which will take place on Friday night. A very, very unusual contest in the sense that normally there's one person that the fans gravitate to, one that they don't like. I'm not sure who they're supposed to like more. I think it's a matter of who they hate the least, and I think Dominik Mysterio may win out in that scenario. And Brock Lesnar now really going after Dominik Mysterio. Lesnar couldn't hold on to the belt against Goldberg, but he made sure that he injured the man, and of course those antics will not be repeated during this tournament. The commissioner has told Brock Lesnar in no uncertain terms, if he gets involved with any wrestler involved in this tournament, in between the bell ringing to start the match and the bell ringing to end the match, he will be immediately fired and will be taken out of this tournament. So Brock Lesnar needs to be on his best behaviour, but unfortunately once again it's too little too late. Action taken too late, and Brock Lesnar getting away with murder once again as Dirty Dominik Mysterio now managing to wriggle away from Brock Lesnar. He was having a real hard time there, and now Dominik going to take advantage of the count out rule. He's got to the count of 10 and he just needs a second to regroup here. Things not going his way, now coming back in. But more of the same here for Dominik Mysterio. And now look at Lesnar sliding Dirty Dom outside of the ring. Bit of mat burn against the torso. And now look at Lesnar taking it to the outside, sending him right over those steel ring steps. As much as I don't like Brock Lesnar, there's one thing you can't deny about the man. He is phenomenal inside and outside of that squared circle. As much as I don't want to see him prevail in this tournament, it's a very real and sad possibility, as now Brock Lesnar really just dominating this match. Dominik Mysterio hasn't got a prayer here as Lesnar picks him up, nails him with a vicious powerbomb. And Lesnar firmly in control here, barring some sort of miracle. He's going to defeat him and prevail to the quarterfinals, and this doesn't look good here for Dirty Dom. Lesnar picking him up and nails the F5. Well, I don't see Dom kicking out of this. I think we've got our third quarterfinalist, and we have Brock Lesnar victorious and advances in the tournament. Ladies and gentlemen, here is your winner, Brock Lesnar. Well, unfortunately, Brock Lesnar could be the man to walk away with that belt. Fingers crossed, hopefully not. But next up, ladies and gentlemen, this is going to be an enjoyable contest. Two legends set to square off to fight it out for a place in the quarterfinals. Ladies and gentlemen, the following contest is scheduled for one fall with a 10-minute time limit, and it is a first round match in the tournament to determine the new Pastgen Television Champion. Introducing first, he hails from Glasgow, Scotland, and weighs in tonight at 230 pounds, Rowdy Roddy Piper. The legendary Roddy Piper, one of the greatest to ever lace up a pair of boots and step inside that squared circle. And he's going to face a very close personal friend of his and another legend, an all-time great. What a match this is going to be. Ladies and gentlemen, his opponent. He hails from Charlotte, North Carolina, and he weighs in tonight at 243 pounds, the Nature Boy Ric Flair. Talk about legends, Ric Flair. No man on this planet has held more World Wrestling Championships than that man you are looking at, styling and profiling his way down the aisle. Just because certain organisations don't like to count some of those title reigns, we certainly do, and we recognise them. Ric Flair, maybe the greatest of all time. But Roddy Piper, some may consider him to be the greatest of all time. And maybe that debate is going to be settled once and for all here in this match. Ric Flair has held many championships, has achieved pretty much everything there is to do in this business, except for one thing. He has never held that Pastgen Television title, perhaps the most prestigious belt of all. And he's going to get the opportunity to finish his resume, to complete that list of career achievements and go down as an even bigger legend than he already is. As the bell rings, and this is going to be some contest, I guarantee you that, with these two men in the ring as they lock up now. And Flair coming out on top in that exchange, and look at that, the Flair flop. Well, these two men have wrestled thousands of matches in their years. Not quite sure who's wrestled the most. And look at that, Piper showing off those boxing skills. Piper in his youth, former amateur Golden Glove boxing champion in his local area. Piper at 15, left home, became a professional wrestler. He's fighting grown men at the age of 15. As now Piper sends Flair for the ride off the ropes. Look at Flair going behind, backslide covers made, but Piper's feet close to the ropes, and look at that, a chop by Piper. Flair returning one. Oh, look at that, Piper once again going to those, throwing those fists, throwing those hands, and now a nice drop kick by the Rowdy one. And now Piper with Flair on the ground. Well, very, very close. Let's call it the very lower abdomen, because I'm sure that's what Piper would call it. And now Piper with right hands to the face of Ric Flair. I'll tell you what, these two might be friends outside of that ring, but they both know what it means to get in that ring. They both know what that opportunity means. None of them are going to be holding back and taking it easy. Look at that chop by Piper. Flair returns one of his own. Well, real back and forth stuff here. And look at Piper now. Couple. Flair with two chops of his own. Flair really going to work on Piper now. And now look at this. Rowdy Roddy Piper being choked along that middle rope. And the winner of this match, remember, will go on to face Brock Lesnar in the quarterfinals. Either of these two opponents would make a fantastic match for that quarterfinal. And both of them have enough experience under the belt to be capable of beating a man like Brock Lesnar. At the moment, it looks to be Flair taking advantage. And really going to work on that leg of Piper. You've got to believe that's in preparation to try and lock in that figure four leg lock. Tries carrying on, but Piper managing to find his way to his feet, now nailing Flair with a clothesline. Flair trying to get up, and a big kick to the ribs by Piper. Piper now sending Flair into the corner. What is he doing now? Look at that hand around the throat. Roddy Piper choking Ric Flair, and the referee having to step in there. Well, Flair may be the dirtiest player in the game, but Roddy Piper's a pretty close second in that department as the shoulders are down. Ric Flair managing to get the shoulder up. Piper very close there to finishing off the Nature Boy. And now Piper once again, the very, very lower abdomen, the lowest regions of the abdomen. And now look at Flair trying to sit up. Piper with a knee right to the chest. Now Roddy Piper on the top rope, drops a fist. Piper on fire here, and look at that. Big right hand by Piper. Flair knocked right to the outside. Piper throwing Flair back in. He knows he can't win the match on the outside of the ring. Goes behind Flair. And now look at this. Roddy Piper. The end could be near here. Roddy Piper locking in the sleeper. The move he used to beat Hulk Hogan. Starrcade 96. And Flair may be out. Flair may be unconscious. If Roddy Piper goes for the cover on Ric Flair, there's no way he's going to get the shoulders up. Shoulders down, cover's made, and Roddy Piper will be going on to face Brock Lesnar in a quarter. No, he won't. Well, the only thing I can think there is Piper took a long time to go for the cover after releasing that sleeper hold. Maybe Piper just took a couple of seconds too long, and Flair managed to wake up just in time, and a back rake now by Flair. Flair going behind Piper, taking out the knee once again with that chop block. And now Flair really doing a number on the left leg of Roddy Piper. I bet Piper can't believe that the sleeper hold wasn't enough to put Flair away, but look at this, Piper still on his feet and fighting the man. Flair goes behind once again, punches to the spine of Piper. And now what has Ric Flair got planned here? Once again, more damage to the leg. Oh, and look at this, twisting the knee. Well, that could be a severe leg injury, and now Flair going after Piper's knee again. He senses weakness and he's going to exploit it, just as he does best. Now Flair trying to put on the figure four. Piper kicking him away. Piper backslide, shoulders down. Ric Flair can't get the shoulders up at the moment, and just about in the nick of time, Flair surviving that pinfall attempt. Chop by Piper, goes for a left hand. Flair blocking and knocking him down. And now look at Flair. I think he senses he's done a pretty good amount of damage to that leg, and now going to work on it, just stamping on it, trying to inflict as much damage on the leg as he possibly can. And now the cover by Flair, shoulders are down, leg is hooked. Oh, and Piper just about fighting up with that shoulder. Collar and elbow tie up now by Flair. Tries the Irish whip on Piper. Piper putting the brakes on. And now Piper slamming Flair's head into the canvas. And now going to the top rope, looking to hit a high-risk move to hopefully put this match to bed once and for all. Goes for the double axe handle. Flair moves out of the way. And now Flair from behind once again, taking the knee right from under Roddy Piper. And Flair, what the hell? Flair never goes to the top rope, but he does on this occasion. Beautiful elbow drop by Ric Flair. I don't think I've ever seen him execute a move off the top rope quite as successfully as that. And now Flair senses he can put an end to this match. He's going to try and lock in the figure four leg lock on Rowdy Roddy Piper. And it's locked in. Look at Piper screaming in pain. Piper fighting for his life. Flair wrenching up on that knee. Can he hang on? No, he can't. Piper forced to tap out. Ric Flair, your winner here. Ladies and gentlemen, here is your winner, the Nature Boy Ric Flair. Unbelievable match between two legends, but on this occasion, the Nature Boy Ric Flair coming out victorious. And that means, ladies and gentlemen, Friday night, we'll see Randy Savage against British Bulldog in one quarter final, and in that second quarter final on Friday night, Brock Lesnar will be squaring off against the Nature Boy Ric Flair. But tomorrow night, ladies and gentlemen, we'll be turning our attention to the other half of the tournament standings as Psycho Sid goes one-on-one with Chris Masters, and then in the second match of that night, Triple H will meet with Sting.